With us today we have Stefan Persson, who's the CFO of Precise Biometrics. And without further ado, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. So, warm welcome to Precise. I will give you an overview about the company, where we are today and how we see the future, and a little bit also about the market situation. We were founded in 1997. In some cases that's really good. In some cases it's not so good. The reason why it was not too good, it was too early. The technology was not there. So even if you are born with your biometrics when it comes to the face, the fingerprint, how you behave and walk and all that, the technology was not there to be able to measure it actually and do the analysis. The good part to have been since 1997 is actually you learned a lot. And today we have a fantastic R&D team that are capable to handle biometrics that is coming all over the place right now. I joined last year, and the first thing we did were actually looking into the strategy. And from now on, we have decided that we have three main business units. It's the mobile, the traditional mobile, where we are developing a software algorithm, and then you're delivering that to a sensor manufacturer that are delivered to a mobile manufacturer. That's our traditional business. The next business area is the smart card. I'm sure you have read a lot about smart cards. It has been bubbling for a while, and we're getting closer and closer to commercial launch. Still a lot of things to need to be solved, and I will come back to that. But that's our second part of our business. The third part is what we call digital identity. We have now developed a platform, a product called Unique, that is consisting of a lot of different modularity. So we are combining face, finger, voice, behavior, iris into one product, and that we are selling directly to banks, to other tech companies, etc. And I will come back with that also. So we are addressing two different end markets. One is the mobile and the smart card. We are very far down in the value chain. And one with the digital identity, we're selling directly to companies that have contact with customers. But it's based on the same technology. So long term, is this something else? It's about your digital identity. Today, actually Google, Amazon, Facebook, and these big guys are owning your identity. And we want to take that back again. Actually, we want to do it that you should own your own digital identity, and you should decide when to use it. And we will help you. So independent who you are, where you are, and how you behave, you should be able to utilize your biometrics. Open up a door for a car, open up a door for a house, actually open up your bank account or your computer. Today there is a lot of PIN codes, keys, cards, etc. And we have a tendency to forget these. And we are lazy, all of us, including myself. And we should not have all of these cards and keys and all that. We should use our biometrics instead. So we see that we are in a more and more connected world. We see more and more that people don't go to the bank anymore. My daughter, 19 years old, she had bank ID downloaded on the mobile phone. She crashed the mobile phone, and then she bought a new mobile phone. And then it was, she said, I need to connect this with a PIN code and a token to a computer to be able to reinstall it. She said, I don't have it. So I told her, you need to go to the bank. And she said, where is the bank? She'd never been at the bank. She went to the bank, and then 10 minutes past 3, she called me. She said, the bank is not open. Okay, you need to be here before 3 o'clock. With our solution, we can actually solve that. You can always be online. You can always do the identification and verification online, no physical access. But it's also a high demand for protection. It's very, very important that we protect the digital identity in the right way, and that we are working with also. All this about authentication. More and more is done via authentication, independent if you go to a bank, or if you actually are buying something online, or if you go to the hospital. More and more is done online. And no sound. Let's try again. It's all about technology when it's working. This is a video that is presenting how it can be in the biometric world. Unfortunately, we don't have any sound here, but let's see if we can solve it.
Fingerprint biometrics is also paving the way for other types of biometrics, such as
We start again, like this.
Soon, biometrics will be everywhere, and this is just the beginning. Most people with a smartphone already use fingerprint technology for identification, not just for unlocking their phones, but also for payments. It's easier and more secure than PINs and passwords. Fingerprint biometrics is also paving the way for other types of biometrics, such as face, eye, voice, behavioral, or even a combination of these. Biometrics is fast expanding beyond our phones and self-identification, finding its way into our homes, cars, even in what we're wearing, for use in surprising new ways that offer increased personalization, streamlined interactivity, and even greater convenience and security. Precise Biometrics, verified by you.
Is this Star Trek, or is it already here? It's actually already here. So this is an example in China, KFC, where you actually go in front of a display and you pay with your face. This is another example. I tried it out myself at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona this spring. You entered with your face. And this is the third example. This is the border control. Yeah, I think this one is in US custom. So it's used all over the place, and it just increases day by day. So what have happened now during this first month, 2019? We have signed a licensing agreement with Edis Technology. That's for the traditional business. Edis is one of the two largest, biggest mobile supplier of sensors. With this contract, we are now able to address the whole market, which we have not been in the past. In the past, we worked with a lot of small players to try to access and get access to the market. But with this combination now, where they supplying the hardware and we the software, we now access the whole market in Korea and in China, except for Apple, which we are not working with today. We also signed a partnership with Cover Security. Cover Security had developed the next generation of Bank ID. All of you are using and know about Bank ID. The thing is that the one who founded Cover is the guy who actually started Bank ID, so he knows what he's talking about. But here is also an opportunity because we're going outside Sweden. So this is a solution for very safe transaction of money and other things that we are working together with Cover Security. We have implemented the first pilot with digital identity. So we have seen the first revenue in that area just for the pilot, and we're running a lot of proof of concept here during the second half that will go into a commercial phase during beginning of 2020. We have strengthened our partnership in Asia. We closed down our office in Karlstad, focus all our activities in Sweden to Lund, and then open up an office in Shanghai, because we need to be very, very close to our partners out in Shanghai to be able to work with the Chinese and Korean day to day, 24/7, every day, every week, every month on the year. And we are looking into other type of solutions to utilize our digital identity. And recently we announced the possibility to open up the door with your face. I will come back to that later. So when it comes to the business era digital identity, it's about convenience and security. So you come to the office and you just open up the door with your face. We have it up and running in our own facilities. And it's very, very interesting to see because we closed it down for 3 days for maintenance, and then suddenly all the employees get very upset. So it's so easy to do the selling there. We can see that more and more of the financial stuff is handling online, like betting, like banking, and there will be billions of interaction online in the future that needs our services. So I talked about cover. We are running a lot of POCs with the betting company and with banks, and hopefully we will see a commercialization here during next year of the product. We have been focusing in the first phase in terms of fintech and betting, but we're talking with health companies also and other companies in the industry. And the idea is to remove everything when it comes to PIN code, very easy onboarding. You don't need to walk physically into a branch. We can do a user identification online, and it's very, very fast in different contexts. As I said earlier, we have now introduced our next product in this area, and that is with a face login. This replaces all keys, access cards, pins, and tags. It's a very, very convenient way to do the onlogging. We send a link to the person that is coming to our office. The person just takes a snapshot of the face, send that to our system, and when the person is coming to the office, the door is open. So it's a very fast and secured way to walk into the facilities. And right now we have pilots running with a software company in southern part of Sweden. We have a gym here in Stockholm. They really want to understand who is coming into the gym. Today there is card, the card is disappearing, or a friend gets the card, etc. We are working with a university in New York State that is utilizing our access system, and then we have our office both in Lund and in New York State that is using this face login. And now there's no music again. When it comes to the smart card, there has been a long discussion about will it happen or will it not happen. It will happen, but it takes some time, because it needs to be absolutely 100% secure, and it needs to work in all locations when you use it. We have done the software for this cards, and we're working together with NXP to do running a lot of pilots. But it needs to work. It can't be that you come to ICA, whatever, you try to pay and it doesn't work. So there is still some work to be done before we see the huge volume here. Also, we know that the price structure is too high today, so there will be a very, very high demand on decreasing the price in this area to see the really mass volume. Exactly the same as we can see today within the mobile phone area. So there are still some miles to go before we can see the volume is coming around the corner. But we have received the MasterCard certification, which is a very, very important step towards a launch, together with NXP. We are running more pilots and proof of concept during the second half of this year. We don't communicate all of them, but we have a lot of banks ongoing there. And hopefully then we will see some volume end of the year before the ramp up 2020. The third area is the mobile. And there has been a dramatic change in the mobile area from the old capacitive sensors into what is called optical sensors and ultrasonic sensors. The optical sensors will win because you will actually get the full display with the sensor, which means that independent where you press on the display, you can actually do the verification and identification. So that will win over time. And we have a very good position there together with Edistech. So our software, their hardware, now addressing the whole market when it comes to optical sensors. And together with our Shanghai office here, we will be very, very close to the partners, to the OEMs, to be able to win even more royalty in the future. Then into the financial situation. So we communicated a new strategy here end of last year, and we have started to implement that. And what have happened now is that we have got control over our cost situation. So we have lowered all the costs because we closed some offices in Sweden and moved that to Shanghai, and we're working in a better, efficient way. We start to get the cash flow under control. That's the first sign that we're doing things in the right way, and now hopefully we will actually get more orders down the road, and by that we will increase our sales also. So, several milestones achieved the first half of 2019. We have the partnership for the digital identity. We are running several pilots for the future, and we are getting into a commercialization phase of Unique here 2020. And we can see some small volumes is coming in the smart card area 2019. And there is a technology shift in the mobile area where we have a very good position for the future.
Thank you, Stefan. I would like to start off by asking a question regarding the smartphone segment, where you mentioned that there's obviously a technology shift going from capacitive sensors to optical or ultrasound sensors. What does this mean for Precise in terms of profitability? Do you make more money out of the new sensors or more revenues, or what will it mean for Precise?
So short term, the situation is like that. It started as the same way as for capacitive sensors, which are very, very high price structure. But there will be a price pressure over time, and it will go rapidly. So the nice margin we see in the market right now with modest volume will of course change over time when the volume will increase, and by that the competition will be very high, and we will once again see that the margin pressure. The good thing with our solution in the software is that we are working with a platform. So we reuse a lot of work and doing only the optimization very close to the customer. So hopefully we can remain a high margin level in the future also with our product.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the smart cards, you mentioned you've received a MasterCard certification. And what does this mean long term? Are you the preferred vendor for MasterCard, or how does that work?
So we are one supplier now that is approved, and there will be more in the future for sure. Mm. But it's so important before we will not be able to launch before we get the certification done, and that means that now NXP and us together with MasterCard can start to push and pressure the banks to do more tests to get out the product. But we will not be alone in this market. It will never happen. There will be no one that will be alone in this market. Mm. We will see exactly the same trend as in the mobile phone area. In the beginning, very few players, but over time, more and more players in this area when the volume goes up. Mm.
And finally, which segment do you see as being the main revenue driver for Precise going forward the next couple of years?
This year and next year it's the mobile, but long term it is going to be the digital identity. So the digital identity is the huge investment for the future. There's a huge opportunity there. And now when biometrics is getting more and more accepted out there, and we can see the technology is there to actually to be able to get out the data and do the analysis, we have a fantastic good position there. And with our brand and with our network out there, we think that we are capable to actually have a nice future. But it will take some time. It needs some time before we get there. So this year is mobile, and beginning of next year is the mobile.
All right. Thank you, Henrik.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.